is what we are coming to solve. It's not that we can also go to a better place like Nachivubo, no, but we are coming where that rally is to tell you that we are part of that problem and it's time to solve it. And that's why our rally is in Butabika, in a place where people are disadvantaged. And that's why I ask people, you say you want to protect our gains. You want to protect gains of poverty, you want to protect gains of people suffering, or what? The gains should not be for a few, it should be for the entire country. I want you to go to a hospital to get what you'd get in Turkey. And this is why we come in, that my grandmother in Zombo, my mother in Kavale, my father in Busia, when he cannot see the eye of a president, should go anywhere and get treatment than looking for favors from those in power. I plead and tell you that this is possible. I can assure the school will be made better and everybody will need education. And you can see Electoral Commission was checking my papers to confirm if I have gone to school. There are people who have not gone to school, not because they not like, but because they have not had capacity to do it. We need equal education. We need equal health. We need infrastructure which work for all of us. We need our elders to be taken care of. We need houses for civil servants like medical facilities. You recall Mulago Hospital, where there's a building where used to be CMA. Those were quarters for junior doctors. I want to ask you a question. Supposing a mother is in Mulago Hospital, going to deliver, and now he must be having a cesarean, be operated on. Our doctor stays in Mukono, who is supposed to work. By the time he comes, will the woman be there? The woman will be dead. Those are things which we say misplacement of planning in this country. I have technical people whom I put ahead. I will respect all the workers, the civil servants, the teachers. There's no teacher who should not be paid equally, whether you did math, or you did chemistry, or you did physics, or you did English, you are the same. We need all these teachers. Mathematics is never taught in Rugisu or Uganda. Mathematics is taught in English. And that means you need a teacher of English so that you are able to understand the math in English. So why would you disadvantage a teacher of English? All this will be resolved and this country will move together. Anyone who decides dividing people like that means is dividing the country. This country is disunited. I come here to reconcile it, to unify it, so that when you go to Gulu, you go to Kisoro, you go anywhere, you are treated as a Ugandan, all of you loving each other. So I come as a reconciler, and I'm the one who brings unity in this country. I want elders to be taken care of. I can assure you the elders, you will have homes, you will have a monthly salary. I will not add just age, so that you say few can get. I will make sure each and everyone is treated equally. Uganda belongs to all of us. One Uganda, one people.
Thank you very much, candidate Mafabi Nathan, the FDC flag bearer. I'm going to invite a few questions for the candidate, and I'd love to have two gentlemen and two ladies first. Okay, if there are two, any ladies, please. Okay, as they prepare themselves, please mention your name, the media house, and please stick to the theme of today. Thank you so much.
William Muranga from Beg Media, Stroke Beg TV. Honorable Nandala Mafabi, now Excellency to be. Your previous...
You say Your Excellency.
Your Excellency to be. You have previously worked with the World Bank before we saw you in politics in Uganda. Uganda keeps on borrowing from the G7. What will be your position when you become president? Because our borrowing is too much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
You can answer. Yes, you can answer.
If you have gone to borrow, it means you will pay back and you pay with interest. So Uganda borrows because it has very little in their budget. So we have been borrowing to fill the gap the deficit. Currently, the figures are beyond 50%. 50% of our GDP. So that means every year we are borrowing 50% of our budget goes to service debt. Goes to service what? Debt. I'm just assuming now at 50. 10 trillion is stolen. 7 trillion is in public administration. At the end, you find that the money which remains, which goes for service delivery, is about 10%. This is a big cost to this country. The reason our country is not moving forward is basically because of borrowing and the mismanagement of public resources. So as a president of your country, if you give me the power, number one is to reduce debt. And the debt can be reduced in the following manner. Currently, we have a narrow tax base. And this narrow tax base are the very few people whom we charge every day. And some of you, of course, you are part of the narrow tax base. If you go to buy soap, you pay tax, it's VAT. If you go to buy sugar, you pay tax at VAT 18%. So in short, instead of buying a kilo of sugar, you buy a quarter because you cannot afford because of tax. And because of that, it costs this country that people don't get enough to live on. So number one is to increase the tax base, to ensure everybody is in the tax bracket, and pay little. At the end, it will be more, and you will service the debt, current debt, and don't go to borrow money for non-productive sectors. Money should be for only productive sectors. And this, if done, within 1 year, this country will change. You recall, in 1997, we told HIPIC, all our debt was written off. If this country was serious, by now would be in surplus budget. Instead, every year, we're running a deficit budget. I can assure you, if you block losses, if you block mismanagement, if you reduce on public administration, I can tell you we shall reduce debt, and at the end, within less than 3 years, would be in surplus. And the people of Uganda will be living a better life. That's why we say, have money in your pocket. How will you have it? If instead of spending 10,000 to buy one item, I'll spend 10,000 to buy many items, because the money will have value and there will be lower cost of goods and services.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. To be Jethro Kasaiji, I work with UBC. About governance and leadership, how do you intend to practically actually empower institutions of accountability, that is IGG, Auditor General, but also Parliament, to fight corruption? Thank you.
I think you know that I'm good at that. You are aware of the Chairman Park, where we heard the untouchables to become accountable. I am very good. We have the best laws in this country for Auditor General's office, for IGG, for CID, mention it. The only thing is will to support them. Because if the Auditor General produced a report that this such and such resources are missing, and you, the executive, have not implemented, it shows you are demoralizing an institution. If IGG produces a report and you don't work on it, you are demoralizing the institution. And also you must give them resources to do work. It does not mean that you have a dog, you are not feeding, and you assume it will look after you. It will look after the neighbor who is feeding it. So it is important that these institutions have laws, be facilitated, do work, and whatever they produce, act on it. And you need a man like Nandala to act on site, not the current president, because he has no capacity. Even now, public administration. Let me give an example. Parliament. Parliament is too big. Too big. We have created many districts, And whenever you create a district, you'll have a member of parliament who is a woman. You'll have LOC5 and the local government. Why did we create them? Because of lack of service delivery. People were thinking if they create this, they'll have this. Parliament needs to be reduced. I can tell you this is one of the topics some people don't want to hear. I and my team will make amendments to ensure that districts are represented by 2 people only. 1 directly elected member of parliament and 1 for women who will represent for purposes of gender sensitive. That's why I have my wife here. For over 30 years we have been together because I'm gender sensitive.
I congratulate you, Mr. Nandala, on your nomination. So I'm grateful. I have 3 questions. Question number 1, we have leaders with mask. People put on a mask.
I'm not one of those.
Let me finish. Number 2, we are tired of deception. They speak as if they are going to do miracles to us. They don't do it. Sadly, we have a paradox of Africa, having everything and have nothing. You can't have everything and have nothing. How are you willing to change that? That rhetoric that the world has talked, that they have everything and have nothing. Number 4, how are you going to remove money from politics, which is a cancer and a pain?
Thank you very much. Let me give you one of the experiences which we have seen in this country. We have the best reports, but implementing them is not there. And many countries, including Rwanda, has got our reports and implemented them that have been a success story. Now, what is the reason? We can write well, but we cannot do work. Now you have brought a servant who can work. I can tell you, here is a servant you can rely on. I'll do what you are asking me. Removing money from politics is very important. You end up voting money instead of voting a leader. I am begging the people of Uganda this election, kindly change attitude. You vote leaders, don't vote money. Because when you vote money, the person will tell you, I bought you. I want to ask you, of course that's why we wanted to amend the Elections Act of Presidential and Parliamentary, that the President should step aside so that this election could be fair and fair. Currently, the current government, cannot differentiate it from NRM and the government. They are infused together. And now when a president gets money to give an entity, he's giving it as a president and claiming it as an NRM. So these are things we must deal with. Now, money in politics, it's high time. Don't follow it. In any case, if somebody gave you money, you never asked. If it's from NRM, that's your public resource. Eat it. But vote leaders like Nandala so that you can have better leaders for tomorrow. And I can assure you, if you vote a leader who is good like Nandala, he will do everything for you. And the money they paid you in 1 year, you will get it. In fact, they give you safe. Let me give an example, 10,000 shillings. Nandala is saying he's bringing 100 million in your village. So that means every villager might get maybe 5 million. Why do you leave 5 million to go for 10,000? And the 100 million is from your state coffers. While the one who gave you 10 from state coffers has left the balance. These are things you should think about. Even when you're electing your leaders at low level, don't go for money. Go for leaders and you'll be safe. And this one, of course, we need to make a law to deal with voter bribery in an election. The other one that we are deceitful, there are people who are deceitful, they have a mask, and I am not there. I don't have a mask. I am a man we see. What I'm speaking is what comes from my heart. What I work, I can do it. And you know, whatever I've been given an assignment, ask colleagues I've been with in civil service, I've been with in the World International Market, World Bank and International World. Ask Ibugisu, I am a worker. If you give me an assignment, I do it. If you give me a bull, it will produce 10 cows at once. If you give me a stone, it will produce water. Give me an opportunity and I'll be there. I think those are the questions.
Okay. First and foremost, congratulations, Honorable Nandala Mafabi, upon being duly nominated. My name is Tracy Kansime. I work with NBS Television, and mine is about the building bridges, fixing those that have been broken. Your party itself is no stranger to factions, and whereas we've seen cooperation agreements, memorandum of understandings with the other members of various political parties, yours seems to be under your leadership and that of the Honorable Patrick Boya Moriat. It seems not to be the case. My question is, what are those strategies, concrete proof that you will be working to remedy, even within your political parties, those that have left and are yet to return? Because I think previously you said, let them go. And so I wonder if that tone or that rhetoric has changed, given the fact that now you're talking about building bridges and fixing those that are broken. Where do you start? Thank you.
Thank you so much. In 2001, I came to Parliament. We were in one-party system, which was called NRM. In 2004, we formed a party called the Forum for Democratic Change. I have been there since day one. I have never left. So that shows you I'm a consistent person. I was the Deputy Treasurer General of the party. In 2012, Dr. Besigye left the party, so they had to look for leadership. I contested with General Muntu and my younger brother Ekanya. I lost with 32 votes. I never left the party. And if you want to know, you could have tested, I would have left at that time because I knew I'd done well. I can't bring our internal issues here. In 2017, Poa, my big brother Poa, stood with General Muntu. General Muntu was a sitting president of the party. Poa beat General Muntu with over 300 village votes. Recall, during the campaign of 2012, they were calling me a villager, which I like. 2017, they called Poa a villager. So the villager beat a town person. Now, when he won that election, General Muntu, that they cannot even go to villages and get whatever they are supposed to get. But that's not a big story. So General Muntu went. In 2021, we went to an election. You remember it was COVID time. It was not an election. My party president who stood, Poa, whom I have respect for, whom I must thank for serving us, he calls it a military operation. We lost. I hope this time there's no military operation. We're here for this election. So that clearly shows which man I have been, consistent. I have never run away. And in 2016, we supported Dr. Besigye. Now, there are colleagues in their lives. They are either leaders or no, they don't want to be led. Unfortunately, that's what happened. And that's why when you see some of them running away, that is the reasoning. They don't want to be led. They want to be the only ones at the helm. Unfortunately, where they have even gone to lead, they have become, I don't want to mention. Look, for example, let me give an example of PPF, which you are talking about recently. You know my brother Lukwago is the president. My brother Semuju is the Secretary General, mobilizer, spokesperson, mentioned it, he has more than 4 portfolios. When they wanted to put a candidate, none of them came up. They wanted to remain road mayors. They wanted to be members of what? Parliament. That means for them they are more comfortable to be at the helm, but not to show what it is. I was waiting forward to see Lukwago standing as a what? A presidential candidate. I'm here, he's crying here to be what? A road mayor. And in fact, I want to ask people of Kampala, such leaders don't trust. They can be very dangerous to our country. In that context, that applies also to my brother Semuji, whom I thought would be. Now, so they went wanting power, and they have got it, but they have failed to execute what they are supposed to do. That means if we had given them leadership, FDC would not have had a presidential what? Candidate. Are you getting us? They would not have had a presidential what? Candidate. If they were going to have, they would have demonstrated with the PPF they have. So all those stated and said, we are not bad. Those who went with them, some of them were misled. But we want to ask our colleagues, come back. Come back, come back. We need to move forward. The journey to the struggle for our liberation is a longer journey. Of course, others will reach Others will drop off, but others will join. I ask more to join. I want also more to come and support us, even from other parties. So the bridges I'm building, everybody is free to come with us. And that's why I call on everybody in Uganda to support me. Under the bridge, I will work for everybody. Ask anybody, whoever I've worked, if I've ever been sectarian, I have ever been tribalistic, I've ever been anything of that. When I was the leader of opposition, my driver was from West. My bodyguard was from Acholi. I get in this. When I was in my offices, when I worked in finance.
Nandala mu local government. District ye Sembabule ya isawo chairperson wa LC5. Nenga ate amanyi g'ebibiina gatandikira ddala eno wansi. Nga mulina ebitundu gye mutalina wadde abeesimbyewo. Akalulu mugenda kafeffetta mutya era musuubirayo obuwagizi.
Nziremu mu Luganda oba mu Luzungu? Webale. Sembabule naye muganda wange bamwita Sekikubo Theodora. Waki wa NRM. Weyesimbawo mu primaries. Ndoza abantu bafa. Abantu bakola ki? Bafa. Ebiriyo ebitundu ndoza emundu yefuga. Ekyo kino gavumenti ensi eno tulina okujja emundu mu byobulonzi. Bwe tugenda okuteekawo abakulembeze baffe tujjewo emundu. Sembabule tulinayo abantu b'ebibiina nga FDC bangi naye bakya kukola ki? Okufa. Ky'oba olaba bagamba kabagende. Ekintu ky'olina sure wadde mugenda ojja kutuuka ekiseera ojja kufa. At least that's a sure deal. You will die. But why should you kill somebody because of a what? A vote. So ebyo ebitundu biliyo abantu baffe babatiisa buli kaseera. Ky'oba olaba twagala tusaba electoral commission ekomeo etuyambe ekole voter education buli mu kitundu. Olaba twagenda ekotido naffe ne tubeera ne bakansala baffe bayita opposite oba okimanyi naye ebiseera ebyo nga tebabakiriza okuyitawo kuba ffe nnyini twaliyo. Ekyo kikulaga naffe duwe ebitundu bye tuyise ani opposite. Lwaki oleese Sembabule n'otagambako ebitundu ebirala? Naffe waliwo abantu baffe naye ffe tetukozesa ki? Mundu. Theodora bakose mundu ndowooza omanyi byavaamu oluvannyuma. Akaaba wa FDC neda wa NRM. Twagala kusaba NRM edde mu nkola ekole ebintu bulungi.
Thank you, Honorable. My name is Aloja Sibyamukama. I am from Mama FM, which is a women-focused radio station. I have seen your position on agriculture. And now, a question in me, it is kind of a global conversation on climate change. We have seen a lot of changes, including the agricultural habits reducing totally. We have seen waters actually coming to settlements where people are. We have seen mountains in this country becoming so bare, a lot of sunshine, a lot of changes. Let me know how you stand on this question about your climate change plan.
First of all, climate change is my main interest. Maybe if you want to know, my master's, my dissertation was on environment. And I even said that unless we settle climate change, we're going to have disasters in this country. It's one of the themes at international level. So we must have financing in the environment to ensure that we deal with this environment. But who are destroying the environment is the developed countries. And we must deal with them, either they pay for it or not. But also, by the time they do it, what are we doing as Uganda in our country? We have cut forests. We have cleared swamps. That's why you see silting of the roads and the land. If you go to Nakao when it has rained, that place used to be a swamp. Now water floods. There's a lake over there when it rains, and it has taken people. That is us ourselves. If we're doing it, what solution did we put mitigation solutions? So on environment, I want to tell you that I and my government, if you give me authority, will be our priority to ensure we have a better environment for our country. So we'll invest in it, we'll educate people about it, and when you invest in environment, you are improving the health of the people, you are improving agriculture. Let me give you an example. When we breathe out carbon dioxide. What you breathe in is oxygen, and oxygen is produced by plants like trees. So if you cut trees and you breathe out oxygen, there will be nothing to absorb that carbon dioxide. That in the end, you will breathe in the same carbon dioxide, which is dangerous. And that's why you see there's a lot of diseases caused because of such things. So we need to make our country green so that we are able to have healthy bodies and also to ensure that agriculture also thrives. I can tell you, you're talking to a student and a practitioner of environment. In the global market, of course, you are aware, under COP, I am one of the members on the finance committee on environment. And whenever I'm there, I am advocating for it. This year it will be in Brazil. Unfortunately, I will be in the campaign. I will not make it, but since you are good, I might nominate you to represent me.
Thank you, candidate Nandala Mafabi of FDC. I am Farid Ule, the Executive Director of Ushahidi Foundation Uganda, and I am observing this process. I have 3 questions. One, what is your plan for the shrinking space for the civil society organizations currently in Uganda? 2, this I'm going to use Luganda. Nchimanyi mulungi nti oli muntu wa byanava oli mu economist mulungi. Tax policy yo egenda kubeera etya? Tax policy eriwo kati saawa zino ekusanyusa oba tekusanyusa? Let me give you one example. Nze bwe mafunye omusaala bwe gutropinga ku account yange nina okusasula pay as you earn, nesasula NSSF. Bwe zivaako ne zigenda n'engenda okuzijjako nyina omusolo omulala gwensasula. Bwe ngenda mu supermarket ogulira abaana bange ebyokulya nyina omusolo omulala gwensasula. Bwe ngenda mu katale nyina omusolo omulala gwensasula. Kwegamba government eri kunyunyuuta abantu abatono ennyo nti be bali okufujjirira, n'olaba nti omukyala atunda amenvu capital we wa mitwalo 2 naye nga still government emulilayingako okubeera nga asasula omusolo. Kakati gwe nga candidate otegese otya okulaba nti okozesa ebyo? Tulina amafuta, tulina gold, tulina so many resources. Otegese otya? What is your plan okulaba nti nno tonyigite government tenyunyuuta abantu ffe abawansi okuba nti nno tugirabirira, kubanga we tutuuse tulina development. Ekyokusatu, embeera eyaliwo mu 2021 using owalaba abantu abamu omukyala yafiirwa omugulu nga security ekoseza amaanyi mangi, n'omukyala omulala yafiirwa omwana we. Kakati nga gwe nga tonaba kwenyigira mu kalulu oteeseteese etya okulaba nti embeera eyaliwo mu 2021 tesobola kubeerawo mu 2026? Osobola okuba nti ogenda kuteeseganya otya n'omukulembeze w'eggwanga aliwo kati okulaba nti embeera eyo tebeerawo?
Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
Can I answer this because I may forget? The last one, he was asking security. Embeera ki tugenda kugikola? Ndowooza ekyo ekibuuzo kya electoral commission. Ine kulaba eti elections zibeera free and what? Fair. Naye tulina okwogera nga abasimbyewo tulabe eti security tegenda ekola ebintu ebitali bituufu. Era tusaba security organization, tusaba electoral commission, tusaba president wa Uganda naye candidate alabe eti elections zino zibeera free and fair. Kijja kumuyamba for credibility purposes. Tax base gy'ogambye nina tukimanyi. Ndowooza yogedde ku muntu amanyi bintu bya tax base, an expert internationally. Bw'obeera ne tax base entono ojja mu bantu batono ate oyagala by'okukozesa bingi. Ky'oba olaba olina okukola tax base n'ebeera ennene, omusolo ne gubeera mutono. Ebimu by'osabye by'ombuulidde pay as you earn, eyo ekituufu musolo, naye NSSF si musolo. Ezo savings zo bw'onaatuuka emyaka 5 mu 5 ojja kugenda mu NSSF bazikuwe ne interest. Ezo tezogerako, ezo zizo ziterese zifuna ne interest. Naye zogambye pay as you earn kikulaga nti bakulekerako okusooka bayita threshold. Kati bwe zirinya waggulu n'obakuggyako omusolo nga osasula nga bw'okola nga bw'ofuna pay osasula nga bw'ofuna. So the higher bw'ofuna nyingi nawe osasula kangi. Naye complaint yo yandibadde nti sente zange zino zensasula zikola mulimu ki? Ekyo kyekizibu. Kuba ezisinga bazikolesa bubi, bazibba, bazikola ebintu ebitagasa mu kifo ky'okukoma mu economy, zikole emirimu ezo ziyambye abantu, ziyambe economy ekule, so that economy bwekula omusolo nagwo gukola ki? Naye okukosa bubi economy tekula ate bweshrinkinga abantu abatono be bajjako ki? Omusolo. Nga bw'oyogedde buli muntu asasula musolo buli agenda mu supermarket. Neze no gambet musolo gwe gunabeera mutono no productive sector yeyongere tugenda kola sente zo zebayita disposable income. Disposable income is income oba omaze byonna ebeera mu makono go okukozesa ejja kuba nyingi lw'ensonga nti bwe sector bwe zikola bulungi sente zibeera nyingi, abantu babeera ne disposable income nyingi. Mufa ky'okugula hafu kiro y'esukaali ojja kugulanga kiro 2 n'embeera yo nayo ebeera ennungi. Ekyo kiraga nti nawe base yeeyongera kuba kati omusolo gw'ogenda okusasula ogenda kusasula ku kiro 2 mu kifo kya kusasula ku hafu kiro kubanga eyo naye bagiyita widening the tax base. Bw'ogula ebintu bingi omusolo gubeera mungi, naye gubeera wadde mutonotono naye ebintu bingi zibeera nyingi okusinga okugula hafu kiro omusolo gubeera at high rate naye nga musolo muki mutono. So productive sector zeko ogugambyeko zigenda kweyongera. Kati gw'ofuna olaba threshold entono kubanga abantu babandifujja mu musaala ne bajjako omusolo singa babadde bangi okifuna payers and yandibadde wansi. Naye kasita muli batono aba earning income kyobola payers and ebeera waggulu. Ekyo kitugenda kukirwanisa tukole economy abantu babeere n'emirimu, ab'emirimu babeera bangi tubajjako omusolo nagwo muki mungi. Kyogambye nti civil society is your right. Kirimu Constitution, Article 28-29, freedom of association, freedom of speech. This the president should bank on, who will ensure the freedom of speech, freedom of association. The public must speak, the media must speak. And I want to tell you that Constitution was a good Constitution. And I want to state, one of the items which shall be on our agenda, number 1, is to restate term limit of a president, to cut powers of a president. Those are the things you must do. A president must be a worker, not a boss.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, as you deserve to be called. I'm Julius Mugaga Tukachungura, and I write for an online paper called Umoja Standard. I come in the line of policies. We know agriculture is the backbone of Uganda, and for any country to grow, it must focus on, not a major focus, but usually industrialization is a key factor. So what are your policies in as regards to agricultural industrialization, it being a backbone of Uganda? And secondly, there's a growing economy called the digital economy. You didn't mention it. So as an economist, what are some of the policies you are going to employ to see that our digital economy grows and benefits Uganda? Thank you so much.
Those two I'm going to, but I think I forgot one item on this lady. She said when she goes in the bank, she gets money less. Those are bank charges. Those are bank charges. So if they are high, we shall deal with them. One of the things is that the interest rates in this country are too high. We need interest rates to be low so that people can borrow money to invest. You know, when the people don't borrow money to invest, the economy collapses. Let me give a quick sample because I've remembered what the lady asked. If I went to borrow money to put up a maize mill, I borrowed 10 million, it will be better that the interest rate is lower so that I can run that maize mill to be able to have the one who deals with the maize, to produce maize to bring, to make sure that the people are in the maize mill to work, to make sure that people get food, to make sure there's animal feed. because as a byproducts of maize, you will get animal feed. But if the interest is high, I will not borrow. So the people I would have killed, those who deal in animal feed, those who would be employed in the maize mill, those who produce maize. This is where we're saying we should invest in a very productive sector. And that's one of the areas that we must have our businesses working, surviving, by having a deliberate effort to deal with local investors. Local investors must be given money at a cheaper rate by government, not giving it to foreigners. We cannot make our country for foreigners, because foreigners, when they make profit, they externalize it. But when the Ugandan makes money, it stays here. That's why one of the burden here is that foreigners who are here are making money and taking it out. But if you give money to the locals to invest here, it will go a longer way to build the economy. I think that's what you, Madam, you wanted also, maybe that's why you came back. Agriculture is the backbone of this country, and I want to thank God He gave Uganda the best climate. Anything can grow, and that's what I told you. So how do we industrialize? Of course, we must have value addition. We must have cooperatives, which I started with. Cooperatives will help farmers to have their produce taken to the cooperative society, to have their produce processed. Like maize, you should be having a Nescafe machine here to produce coffee. You can take an example. Recently, I'm not against, my colleague was given a factory in Intungam. Now, Intungam can have a factory for coffee, which has very little coffee, but you cannot leave Mount Elgon, which has the best coffee, to not have a factory. In fact, that factory should have started in Mount Elgon site, and there's an entity like this cooperative, which government, if it was a state government, to have cooperated with, so that the coffee would be now they want to do. So we make our priorities wrongly, and that's why we get. So we must have industrialization, have industries to process agriculture, which is called agro-processing, so that we have value. Now, we need to have banks. We need to have an agricultural bank to deal with agriculture, because there's a lot of loss, because nobody wants to lend money to an agriculture sector because of the depends on weather. We need to have a cooperative bank, which is even now again in the law, but has not been done. The cooperative bank to help cooperatives to operate. In this agriculture bank to help the process from growing the from the farmer up to the process of agro-processing. And even the marketing. We need to improve on marketing. The best person who should lead marketing of Uganda product should be the government. If I give you an example of coffee being on a New York board, no farmer can move to New York. But the person who can go to New York is the government to ensure that we have that. So I can assure you, if you read our manifesto, which was done by people of FDC, it clearly talks about how we're going to industrialize agriculture sector. Well, you talked about digital. Right now, internet is cheap all over, but in Uganda, internet is very expensive. We need to make data cheaper, because now transactions are easily done online. Why should data be very expensive? Many countries now, if you walk on the streets of their town, even in the villages, there is internet. Why should somebody spend money on the internet when there is free internet? And the internet will assist you. Of course, it helps you on WhatsApp, and of course, whatever social media, it can do it, but it also can do business, transacting and whatever. Currently, many countries are doing, let me give an example, America and the UK are doing, okay, in my area of accounts, they are going to India to get professionals in India to do accounts for them. So they use this internet to do accounts. They send the accounts to UK, they are paid a check. Our boys and girls, those are the jobs they would be doing. But because they don't have those facilities, and of course you are talking to a man who also has some digital knowledge, I'll make sure that digital is at lower cost, affordable, and everybody must access it. My study in Makerere, all of you know, in our year we used to do what we call computer science, where there was a mainframe. Those who know Lotus, 1, 2, 3, those who know WordPerfect, I was one of the young programmers. I still have ideas. Even if I become a president, I'll do programming for you so that you enjoy it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I'm told
Candidate
so I have finished all your questions. Now I want to ask all of you, the media people, be my campaign managers. Tell the whole world that the best candidate is Nandala Mafabi. I want to ask people of Uganda again that I'm your candidate. I'm a candidate who has no hate, who has no hatred, who comes to build bridges, who loves every Ugandan. I am one of those whom we should trust. Above all, I am a God-fearing person. I love God. I love my God. I have been married with my wife, Flora Nandala, the woman, for 32 years. And we have no plans of leaving each other. And we want, I came here with my bishop. I want to introduce my bishop and his wife, Bishop Patrick Giroud and Mama. Thank you for escorting me. Of course, all those people are people of FDC. I want to introduce my brother Jack Sabit, who has been my mentor from civil service up to now. I want to introduce my brother Poa, whom I've known for over 30 years. We live together. I want to talk about my sister, Margaret. Thank you for being there for me in all those dungeons. Colleagues, I am so grateful. I can tell you I have a friend of mine I met in Parliament in 2001. He's called Chwanda Godfrey. Mama Tata Sovi. That was my brother until he crossed and abandoned me. But I'm asking you as the chairman of NSF, please join me. I want to thank my nephew for joining this meeting. This is my nephew, Dr. Sranda, from Secretary General of FDC. Thank you, thank you. ODP. Since they have given me a microphone, this is my opportunity. I have my brother Joab from Masindi. Thank you so much for joining me. I have my big brother Mukalada. Thank you for chairing FDC up to now. I have my brother Wante. Thank you for always being there. Wante, when they sacked me from Mwiri, he looked after me. I have my brother Olanya from Acholand. Thank you for joining. Oh yeah. I have my elder sister who is Madam President, Madam Jessica Modoa. That's the one who puts food on my table. I have my sister Franca. Okay. My sister, thank you for joining me. I have my nominator and my sister from another mother. Kabogo, my sister, the MP for Kasese. My sister, thank you for being there for me. I have my brother Fungaro Caps. It is great you are with me. I have my younger brother, Geoffrey Kanya. Thank you for being there. I have my brother, Konyogo, my spokesperson. Thank you very much. I have my daughter who is contesting in Buyukwe, called Namanga. I may fail to introduce everybody, but all of you, thank you for coming. I'm so grateful. I have my bodyguard. He's here. Number 64718. This is my bodyguard. Thank you very much for guarding me. I want to thank the translators. It was great seeing you. The media, Elama Noi. Mwanya Lalugali, where are we nanye?
Thank you so much, candidates and Nandala Mafabi. I now hand you over to the protocol details and the security to guide you. They are going to guide you very well to take you. I thank you for the patience. I thank you so much. Please, protocol team, guide the candidates. Security, please. Yeah, thank you. Now this engagement comes to a conclusion. Thank you.
short eyo nga motoka bwetyo bwegenda ne ka 99 kakumi yandinyumye motoka ya polisi neya polisi agenda kati awonsa kuye ne polisi